Got this, dog.
Yeah, we live. Look at this. Look at this.
I don't see it yet. It's not live on my end yet.
Yeah, well, it's live in the actual live, but not
There we
live. It's the tornado is really touching down, but at the station they ain't seen that shit yet.
Okay. So here's the thing. First of all, people, welcome, Scarcasm Live. This is in the building.
I am
in the building. We out here. We do this. I really need to remember to go back and do the deets or whatever like that. You can find the show. Mostly you can find this the edited version and the live version on our YouTube page. It's linked in the episode description. Or is it? Is it in the show notes?
It should be. I mean, it has been from the past. Unless YouTube changes their links around.
So if you want to see us, and to be honest, you should totally want to see me.
Oh, the YouTube might be in there, but the Twitch is easy. It's just twitch.tv/Nepo. But the YouTube's kind of difficult to find. Yes. They got crazy.
And then the website is geeksgoneraw.com. I can't even remember the last time I checked that website. Like I can't remember the last time I went there because like no one goes to websites anymore. Do we do websites anymore?
Only thing I would see like a website is like kind of like how like me and Sam have like a little website to where it's not really meant to be there. It's just, oh, here's a link to this website in my Twitter bio, so I don't have to post all my shit in my Twitter bio. Just go to this and you have all my shit there. It's basically show notes for the website for the internet.
And I probably should just change it. I mean, it's a blogger site, so it's not like it's so hard to change. It is a blogger site, so we might try to do something like that. Right now, we just post all of the shows once they're edited and uploaded through the service. And Blue was talking about the wax melts. Blue finally went to the website and ordered some wax melts for his office, and because it's Blue, we are having a conversation because he sent me a link. He placed his order and then he sent me a link to a guy that reviews scents. And he reviews like colognes and shit like that. So I sent him, in addition to what he ordered, I sent him a set of wax melts for one of my masculine fragrances, and then we were talking in the Discord about our love of cashmere, the smell of cashmere, and so I sent him samples of the other masculine stuff that I have plus the cashmere stuff. And he said he likes it. He likes all of that stuff really, really.
I've been meaning to do that because Amber loves. She's a female, so I mean, have you ever met a female that doesn't like candles? So, but I've been meaning to do this. But
here's the problem. Here's the problem with this shit right now.
Yeah.
It's getting close to the holiday season. It's getting ready to be fall. The post office has already raised their rates. Now they normally do this around October-ish. They raised the rates for the holiday. He said that melanin is legit. I'm gonna tell you, that's one of my favorites. It's cocoa butter cashmere, and that shit is bomb, son. In fact, I used to actually burn my I call it melanin, but cocoa butter, black people. So he's at you rocking the pumpkin this holiday. I have some pumpkin spice and I have a pumpkin souffle.
He's probably talking about me because I.
You okay? I wasn't looking at what you were drinking. Okay, never mind. Yeah. So what happened was they raised their rates. So with the rate raise, they have. I took a big hit. They rose their rates early, so I took a big hit on the shipping to send that stuff to Blue. So I'm gonna have to raise my shipping because, bruh, the hit that I took on that shipping was like, man, listen. But blew my mans in them. So I'll do that for my mans in them.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's so like if you want to order something, let me know. You know what I mean? I don't mind taking a hit. I don't mind taking a hit for y'all. But for everybody else, y'all about to get hit with this shipping because boy, oh boy, I'm talking about it was the difference in what he paid for the shipping. If the difference between what I paid for shipping was almost $5.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not nothing to worry about. So Blue, don't. I know Blue being like, oh no, dog, I'll send you money. No, dog, calm down. It's not that serious. He said next time he'll pay over for shipping. No, no. I'm gonna raise them prices, and you go pay. You go pay with the shipping, and we good. But yeah. So I sent him all of that. He said he likes that stuff a lot. He said he said his wife wants to meet me, because of like the pastries and the paintings, and now this. So he says his wife wants to meet me, and it's like, all right. I mean, if you really want me around your wife, I wouldn't want me around my wife. Not that I have one. I don't even have a girlfriend right now, so that part.
Mm-hmm.
And like his. Okay, Blue. Does your wife still have her accent? I'll wait for him. I'll wait for him to say. Does she still have her accent? Because just having a conversation with someone with an accent like that would be fucking delightful. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not that I'm trying to like hustle or anything like that. No, he said no accent. Damn, dog. And he said he ain't worried about me around his wife. No, I ain't trying to hustle your wife or nothing. I mean that I would never do that to somebody. Somebody did that shit to me. So I would never do that to shit. But
Well,
but yeah, so
I know that I do have an accent that comes out, but sometimes it's not as pronounced, whatnot. Mainly when I'm like kind of around family, or if I'm drinking or something. But it's like, but I know I forget about it because like when I'm talking like Captain Mike M, they were like talking about me when they were like when I'm at the game nights and then I'm like half asleep. They're like, y'all, I think I'm gonna go home now. Like
you went from chase to sling blade.
Yeah.
You want to get some French fried taters. He said she never had an accent. Her mom is 100% British, but her wife sounds more country than him. Wow. Okay, so speaking of moms. Okay, so my mama said she want to listen to the show. And I said, all right, so there's two things that you need to know.
I don't think my mama even knew I have a show.
Yeah, but like my mom would be like, my mom watch YouTube just as much as I do. So like, all right, I can send you the YouTube link. But first of all, I need you to know we do talk some video game stuff. But that's usually later on in the show. We talk life stuff and just stuff in general at the beginning of the show. Mm-hmm. But I was like, yo, and I look closely to the camera. I say it again. I said, I be cussing. she was like, all right. And I said, I'll send her the link, and then I forgot about it until right just now. Like to just now. So I'm gonna send her the link, and I will see how look. However it goes, I warned you up front. I be cussing.
Mm-hmm.
So before I get into all of my stuff, how have you been, dog?
I've been good. I had a big thing happen that I had to like really adult about, and it went really well. We got a second car. So, and this was the first time that I've got a car without a cosigner. And I got like a 3% interest rate. So I'm like feeling pretty good about myself.
Fucking adult, dog. I see you being a fucking adult. That gotta be a good fucking feeling. I've never actually bought a car.
Mm-hmm.
My original car that I had, um my my in-laws at the time, my in-laws bought the car and then I paid them. Like me and my wife, we paid them. Um, so they bought the car. So that was so they bought the car. I paid them, and then for this, the car that I have now, I bought this from my ex when she upgraded. So I just paid her. So I've
Right.
never actually bought a car from a car place, even a used car. I've never bought a car from a car place. So I've never been. So I guess in that aspect, I don't quite feel like an adult.
Well, I mean, you have a car.
I mean, I have a car, but I mean, I've never actually like, like this is this is like the first time that I've actually like really lived on my own. You know what I mean? Like, so like I'm feeling like an adult and like all.
Well, that's
when
one
every
thing
time
that
you
I've never done. Like when I would hear on Fred's podcast, the guy Trees Lounge, he would talk about like the beginning of our gaming when we're like, oh man, that's the like golden age of gaming, like the 360 era and all that. He was like a straight up bachelor, and I was like, never had that. Which I think it would be lonely, but there's some things where like, you kind of think, I wonder what that would be like. But then I see my dad doing it, and I'm like, man, that's fucking lonely.
Yeah, this shit is kind of lonely. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Yeah. This shit is real lonely. But like, I've never I met my ex-wife when I was 15. You know what I mean? Like around that time, I was kind of out of gaming. I came back like, well, no, because I still had like Super Nintendo, still had a PlayStation. I actually like,
yeah, other than getting into music and having bands, you have a similar thing to where like it seems to where around the NES, Super NES, you and then you kind of fell off, and then you came back really around the 360 era, which is kind of where I came back.
No, I think I really came back. Okay, so until the Xbox, I was basically the guy who played all of the sports games.
Mm-hmm.
I was the typical Madden dude. Like, you know what I mean? I played Madden, I played NCAA, Game Day, like the basketball games, like all of that shit. I primarily played sports games. And then like I said, my introduction into no longer just sports games guy was I was invited over to a friend's house and we played Halo.
Yeah.
And I got my ass whooped because I didn't know how to control a first person shooter. Like I played a decent.
You were looking at the ground and then the air, then the ground and the air.
Yeah. I played quite a bit of Unreal Tournament on my PC. But that's kind of really the only like first person shooter that I really played that much, and that was a PC game, and it was a lot faster. You know what I mean? So like I was doing that wrong.
It's funny
because I never learned how to WASD.
Well, it's funny because I didn't think about it. WASD didn't really come into play until Half-Life 2. Really, that standardized that. A lot of those older ones were just like arrow keys and shit.
Yeah, I left-hand moused arrow keys. Right-hand arrow keys. That's how I played Unreal Tournament.
Wow, man.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You hear that? Is that my phone? I hear something that sounds like a phone. Okay, that's not me.
But yeah, we kind of got on games a little bit, but the card.
No. I'm not going to games yet.
Okay. I'm not saying we're going. I was kind of looped back. I was saying that the car. It's also the first time we've owned a American car in a long time.
You get a Ford?
We got a Chevy Equinox.
Okay, so you went big.
Well, it's bigger than what I have now, but it's like a kind of like a RAV4 to where it's a SUV, but it's a small SUV. You know,
You still got an SUV. Like
yeah.
you are a typical fucking Southern American. I'm surprised. I was surprised you didn't get a fucking Ford Ranger.
Well, my dad would kill me. I don't care, but my dad would be like, "You got a Ford? That's against the family, son." But because they're like,
Really, like I know in the South that's a big deal.
yeah.
Like there's Ford people and there's Chevy people, and those two don't mix.
And there's more Ford people than Chevy people because the Ford F-150 is the highest selling vehicle in the United States.
But I will say, one time, one time, I had to when I was working in storage, I had to fill in Suffolk, Virginia. I had never seen that many Ford Rangers in my life. Like they were everywhere. It was just a whole bunch of little ass trucks, and like you see F-150s everywhere. But bruh, I've never seen so many Ford Rangers in my life until I was in country ass Suffolk.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
had
was there
a
for like one day.
S10. Well, I can't remember what it was. It's the GMC. It's like it's Chevy, but it just has a different name. It's the same company,
Mhm.
but their S10 equivalent, whatever that is. I kept saying Tacoma, but that's Toyota. It's something like that. But yeah, I like that little truck. But I mean, it died on me, and all the Chevy cars and trucks died on my parents, and we've pretty much been to Toyota for a long time. Like I'm well over 200,000 miles on my Yaris, and that's still going to be my main commuter. The Equinox is our family vehicle for like going out of town or taking the kids places
Okay.
and stuff. Because the really the Yaris is way too small for the kids are back there like on top of each other basically.
I hear
So
you.
Silverado is Chevy. That's the larger. That's like the F-150, but Chevy, I think.
Yeah, I would say I don't think I've ever really driven a truck until I rented that truck to go see my daughter that one time. That was a Nissan, and I loved that car. I mean, I love that truck. I mean, I love the fuck out of that truck. That shit was amazing. I did not want to get that shit back. Let me tell you, there was no part of me that wanted to give that truck back.
It's a Sonoma. I just looked at
Okay.
the
Yeah,
Sonoma is a
that Nissan. I think it was a Frontier. It might have been a Frontier. Whatever it was, that motherfucker was fantastic, and I did not want to give that shit back. And I've never been a truck person. There's times where I wanted an SUV, but I've never really been a truck person.
It's
Just
just
it's not
I
really my
don't
jam.
yeah, I don't want to have a truck to be my main thing, but like when you need a truck, you wish you had a truck.
Yes.
You know?
You know what? I used to want the Explorer with the truck bed. Because you could get a Ford Explorer, but it had the little truck bed on it, but it's a small truck bed, but a
Yeah.
truck bed never the fucking less. But the rest of it is an Explorer. I was like, yo, that seemed like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And four doors and all that other shit, so you take family and shit with you. That seemed like a cool fucking idea to me. But yeah, congratulations, dog. I know you
Thanks,
feel
man.
like a fucking adult right now, and like I
And I
feel like an
also
adult.
feel like I've been been like losing money in the past 10 years on car insurance. Like, and it's so like I'm like advertising for Progressive, like it's hilarious. But I went from like when I was financing the Yaris, I was paying like $150 for full coverage, like 140, 150. That is what I'm paying right now with both cars insured and me and Amber both on the insurance on
I don't know
Progressive.
what the. I'm gonna tell you something. Something is fucking wrong with my shit because I pay like 100 and something. I don't have full coverage from just me.
Yeah, because me and Amber when we just had man, I need to put that on charger. The um when we were just doing liability, just me and her together was like 70. So that was like 35 each.
Yeah, see, like, what the fuck? Like, I pay 100 and something. At one point, I was paying 120 something a month for just liability. Like,
You ever had a lot of tickets or whatnot?
no, not really.
Okay.
It's just, I think for a good stretch of time, I did not have insurance. Then I got a job where I needed to have insurance. I had to have insurance and I had to turn it in to show that I had insurance. And so I got insurance, but I hadn't had insurance in a very, very long time. So that might be it. Like, because, you know, it was a long time that I was riding dirty as fuck out here. It might be it, but like, yo, I pay like a little, like 100 and some change right now for just liability for my car. And that shit's fucking bonkers.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say shop around, man. Like, I mean, if you don't...
I have. Like, I was paying higher with Progressive. Progressive was getting over on me. They had me do the little snapshot thing, and I did the little snapshot thing, and they were like, nah, we got you right where you need to be. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I've been driving all cool and shit like that and calming the fuck down because I had this little fucking snapshot thing because I thought y'all were gonna try to lower my shit, and they was like, nah, we think you got it. For real.
Yeah, then I don't understand. There's gotta be something.
No one is able to tell me why my shit is so much higher than everyone else. I don't understand.
Is it because sometimes it's because of where you are. Because I know when we were in the mountains, and then once we moved to around Smithfield, and then I knew it because everybody was pulling out in front of me like crazy.
No, it's not where I live, because remember, I lived with my ex. She paid for her own shit. She paid for her own shit for her car, and we were paying the same. She had full coverage. I had liability. We were basically paying the same. I don't know what it is about me. It's just me. It's fucking weird. It's really, really fucking weird, and I don't understand it one fucking bit. I even tried to do like some of that off brand shit, like the General. The General was like, nah, dog. Samesies. So I don't know whether it's because, you know, shit. When I asked, because my homegirl got me onto Direct, and she got it lowered a little bit. Mm-hmm. And she said that I kept asking her, like, do you have any idea why mine is the way that it is? She was like, they take in everything, like your credit score and all that kind of shit. And maybe my credit's real bad. I don't know. I haven't used my credit in so long because my credit ain't never gonna be good. My credit is never gonna be good because I got a student loan that I can't fucking afford. So I don't know. So that's neither here nor there. But let me tell you about what happened this weekend.
Okay.
So my birthday was Saturday, and I had 100% had my day planned because, you know, I live alone, not really in a relationship or anything like that. Shit's just kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I had fully planned on just kind of like making a day out of it, cooking myself some food, going to get my fat ass some cake, and just kind of just making a day of it. Just like, hey, just, you know, it was gonna be just a smidge more than a normal Saturday for me. Mm-hmm. But my sister called me and was like, yo, we want to come up. You're gonna go out to eat and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, fucking cool. That's cool as shit. And so my sister, my cousin, who I treat like a sister, and her daughter, they all came. My sister drove her Batmobile. My sister drives a Bumblebee, but it's gray. What is that? The Camaro?
Wait, I thought Bumblebee was a Ford. I thought Bumblebee was like a Mustang.
It's Camaro. Oh. Because my homeboy actually has a Bumblebee. His is actually yellow.
Okay.
Like, and he has an older model.
Well, maybe it's the different movies. I don't know. For some reason, I thought at least one of them His iterations was a Mustang. I don't know.
Those those are pretty much all Chevys.
Huh. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I only seen the first couple.
Yeah.
To be honest, but like, let's be honest. When you see the black one breakdance when he transforms, like you kind of get turned off to the idea.
Yeah.
And the black one, his first words is "sup bitches," like. And then like Mudflap and Skid Mark or whatever the fuck their names are. Like I was like, I checked the deuces. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Only reason why I watched the other ones is because when I was buying Nexus tablets, it would give me the movie for free. So I have a couple of the movies that are permanently attached to my YouTube account through buying Nexus tablets. Don't know how that happens, or why it happens, but they're there.
Mm-hmm.
When I go checking my YouTube, it tells me that I have two Transformers movies. So, but yeah, so they came up and we went out to eat and everything was really cool. My sister works at the shipyard, so she makes a lot of money. She said, and so is she paid for everything? I was like, yo, I didn't expect you to pay for this. She was like, no, I got it. I've been working overtime. So she paid for it. And then I went to the vape shop because they sent me a coupon 40% off.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I needed a new tank because I broke the bubble glass on my old tank and I had a straight glass and I hate having to refill this thing so much. So
Right.
so I went and they had two tanks, and I decided to, it's a discount. Let's go for the unusual one because I was gonna buy a tank that used the same coils that I've been using. But they were both $20 and then 40% off that. No, so I grabbed this because I wanted to try something different, and this is like $12. So I was like, once the discount hit, it was like $12. I was like, you know what? I might as well buy the other one if it's just $12, right? But see, what had happened was Bank of America are some dicks sometimes, and they've done this to me several times. Like I'll be at the store and I'll buy something. Like I went to buy a video game of some sort, and my cousin was like, "Yo, buy me one." But because I just bought something for the exact same price, Bank of America was like, they trying to charge you, dog. I'm like, no, I'm trying to buy this. And they're like, no, but they trying to overcharge you, dog. We got you. And I was like, no, I don't need you to have me right now. I don't need you to have me right now. Like, they've done this to me several different times. So, and sometimes I'll get a phone call or a text message saying, yo, what's going on, dog? You good? And then usually I respond, yeah, this is me, this is what I'm trying to do. And then they usually let it go. It's like, all right, you can do what you're trying to do. I ain't get none of that shit. The shit just didn't work the second time because both of them cost the same. So like, then my sister walked in and I was like, yo, let me send you the money. I need to get this. It's $12. And then my sister was like, nah, I got it. I was like, shit, like, happy birthday to me.
Uh-huh.
So my sister and we had a good time at a place that I like to eat. Everything was good, and I really felt they drove an hour to come see me. So that shit made me feel good. I did talk to some people on the phone or something like that, but I live an hour away from most of my people. So the fact that they took the time out of their day to come see me, that shit made me feel fucking great. Then I was like, you know what? I had already planned on drinking a little bit. It's like, it's my birthday, I'm by myself. You know what he said going to Vincenzo's. I was going to go back to Vincenzo's, right?
Mm-hmm.
But see, my sister drives a Camaro.
Okay.
Vincenzo's is maybe about a half an hour, 45 minutes away. And definitely was not about to ride in the backseat of a fucking Camaro. I mean,
Mhm.
for a half an hour, 45 minutes. I was not about to do that. That was not about to happen. Not today. So I went to an Italian joint closer to me that still had good food. Um, yeah, and it was another little kid in the back seat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so like it
You
wasn't
felt
like
like
I
you
could
would
just
be. You felt like you
no,
were like on your birthday. You're in the back seat with the kid.
and I can't really put my other cousin in the back seat because she my size. So like I can't really put her in the back seat because she'll be in the same situation that I'm in. You know, it's not like we can really turn sideways because there's a fucking toddler seat. You know what I mean? On the other side. So it's just like it would have been a bad thing. So I hopped in my car, which, you know, and we went to somewhere close. It was the food was still good. Um, even though the lady kept fucking up their orders. My order was great. I got everything I was looking for, but they kept fucking up their orders. So it was a good time, and so I decided I was gonna drink a little bit. I had a bottle of wine that I've had for a couple months now. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drink something because you know I figured I was gonna be here by myself. It's just like drink and like drink and be merry and all that other shit, right? It's my birthday. Why the fuck not? I was like, I got some cake, so I got something to soak down this shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't about to just start just drinking on like no empty stomach or no shit like that. So I so I went, got the cake and stuff like that. I went home, and I remember I had bought some wine coolers because I was at Walmart and right where the checkout was, they had some beer and stuff like that, and they had some wine coolers. The wine coolers was like $1. So I bought one of each kind. So I bought three different wine coolers, and I was like, "Yo, I ain't drink these wine coolers." So watching TV, and I started drinking those wine coolers. I got through one and a fucking half, and I was gone. I went to sleep. Like I told you I'm a cheap drunk. I drink one and a half fucking wine coolers. The other half of that wine cooler is still in the fucking fridge. I ended up putting that shit back in the fridge. So I drank one and a half wine coolers and I was good. Like yeah, I said I was tipsy on Mike's Hard Lemonade. Yes, I did. I drank one.
Mike's Hard
I did.
Lemonade is named after you.
Yeah, this I drank one of those. I actually still got another can of that in the fridge from the day that we did the show on single serving. I still got a whole nother can of that in the back of my fridge somewhere. I don't fucking know. I'm not a big drinker. Like I'm not a big drinker. But yeah, so I still got a half of fucking wine cooler still in the fridge. But it was just a pretty good, you know, it was a surprising weekend. Like I didn't really expect anybody to do anything. My birthday comes at the worst possible time. Like especially like when you're when you have a birthday mid September, it is the worst time to have a fucking birthday because when you're a kid, there's other kids in your house. Your parents just bought everything for everyone's going back to school. When you're an adult, you just spent a whole bunch of money on your kids back to school.
Yeah, someone told me they were like, because I was like, why is it that? Because I know a lot of people that have September birthdays, and it's like it's a
Oh
nice
yeah, well
month.
no. I had this conversation. This conversation. It's real simple. Why I know a lot. I got a lot of family members, a whole lot of friends. A lot of us have September birthdays. You want to know why? When it's cold outside. Parents be out here fucking because it got cold outside and it was cuffing season for you. It was cuffing season for your parents. They started, it's like, hey man, ain't nothing else to do but like, come on here and get cuffed up. And September babies because it got cold outside because that's right around November, December is right when all of this shit starts happening for a September baby.
Mm-hmm.
So your boy Simpson just had a baby girl this week.
Samson
He
Simpson.
about to know. Samson Simpson just had a baby. Yo, I ain't even. Yo, I haven't. I see him on Instagram a lot. He's always traveling. Um, when it's cold outside, you ain't got the month of May. When it's cold outside, you got a hold of May. um, I actually called one of my wax melts cuffing season. It calls sweater weather, but couldn't use that because that's an official name.
Mm-hmm.
I just call it cuffing season. But yeah, that's what happened. It's cuffing season, and that's why you have all of these September babies. And worst of all, why there's so many fucking Leos? There's so many fucking Leos because of cuffing season. Leos and Libras, like Virgos, we're great. Keep making more Virgos. We're great.
I'm
But
with a Leo.
Yeah, funds.
The I do have another new, which part of our podcast network, Geeks Gone Raw network, I have created a new podcast.
Really?
Yeah, but there hasn't been an episode yet. Well,
Okay.
there has been an episode, but it's not. Well, by the time this is out, it had probably been out, so I can put the link and all that in the show notes and whatnot. But
Are we putting it on the same feed, or are you getting a new feed?
I have a new feed.
Okay. What's the show about?
It's basically about things that I care about, and I have a rotating guest. Like it's like self-contained series with rotating guests, which is that's like on repeat in my head because I was like trying to do that intro over and over. but but anyway, like say it's like a season. Like right now, it's with Fred Rojas, and we are discussing every Friday the 13th movie.
My nigga Rojas. Shout out to Rojas. You doing everyone in one show?
Everyone, we just did the first one.
Chase stopped vaping when he got COVID. Chase doesn't vape anymore.
Yeah, like I kind of like
He said so death metal, vaping, and RPGs. Nope, Chase stopped vaping.
Yeah, I kind of beat the nicotine dependency while I was like 2 weeks not vaping or whatnot, and then when I kind of got back and I was like, I don't really want to carry this shit around anymore. So, because we're dudes, we carry too much in our pockets anyway. But like,
I'm still a proponent, and I hope this happens. I want fanny packs to come back in style for dudes. Like I need this.
I got some on my Amazon wish list. There's one that's like all like multicolored, and it's like a dare one, and I was like, dude, I gotta get that. But
yo, I can't wait. Like, yo, the moment this shit's come back in style, I'm about that life. And I might be one of these cool niggas that wears it across my chest or some shit. Like, I'm not about to wear it around my waist, but like I need more space for things in my pockets. You know what I mean? Like,
plus it should be weighing down our pants and shit, you know?
And I'm not one of these new dudes. That's gonna carry around a purse. Get it? Like, you new dudes that y'all just different. Like,
because even like if you like a messenger bag, even that it's like, because
it's a fucking purse. I'm sorry.
Right, but I used one of those in college, like for a year. But then I was like, dude, a backpack is so much better because, like, if you bend down, the thing's going to, like, slide around. And, like, when I'm trying to get something out of my truck, at that time I did have a truck, I would, like, go in and then all of a sudden the fucking messenger bag would just, like, hit me in the freaking knees. And I'm like, God damn. So I just got a regular backpack and be done with it. But, hey, a backpack is...
Under Armour makes a fanny pack. But, like, yo, I would totally do that. I would do something cool or something ironic. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want just
that's what fanny pack. That's why the dare one, because that's a little ironic, especially in Virginia nowadays. Maybe. You there?
I reckon. All right, I'm gonna look at this. He put a link in the chat. Look at this. I'm gonna look at this pack.
But yeah,
honestly, that's one of those. It's kind of like the cross between a fanny pack and a messenger bag. Like it just looks really small. Like, nah, I don't want one of those. I want like the old school, like like niggas didn't call it like nah. This I'm talking about like pouches, dog. We used to call them pouches. Y'all call them fanny packs. They pouches to us. I want a motherfucking pouch, dog.
But yeah, I mean, I do rock a backpack most of the time, but a backpack's just kind of inconvenient because you don't always wear it. Have the backpack on, and it's just big.
That second one is what I'm looking for. I need something like that. I should totally remember to put these links in the show note. Yeah. Or at least put the pictures in the Discord so people know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the links in the Discord so people know what we're talking about.
But back on it a little bit, yeah, I'm just like picking a topic and a guest that I know is also passionate about that certain topic. So I am going.
So let me ask you a question. I asked a question and then we got sidetracked.
Okay.
Are you talking about all of the movies in one show?
No. So this is like a season, and that would be all Friday the 13th. And then because I was thinking I want to go through like Limp Bizkit albums or whatnot or whatever, just random shit I think of, that might
totally gotta have me on for Jason X, right?
All right, I'll get you on for Jason X.
Yeah, I'm down for Jason X. I'll even watch that bitch again. Yeah. I bought Jason X because I love that movie so much. It was the dumbest shit ever. It is the dumbest shit ever, but I loved it. My man from Spartacus was in there, and he got stabbed up. It's like the best line of the movie. He said he got stabbed up, and he said it's gonna take more than that to kill this old dog. He got stabbed up again. He was like, "Yep, that'll do it." It's so fucking stupid. It is so stupid. Like that movie is fucking hilarious, dog.
But yeah, it's the podcast is called Crucial Core.
Crucial Core. Okay. Yeah. Crucial Core. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but Matt restarted his podcast.
Yeah, I've listened to him. It's mostly kind of life affirmation and dealing a little bit with the psychedelics and stuff like that, but yeah.
I started listening to play some video games. I started listening to that show, and let me tell you, their first show back offended me so greatly. I almost cut this shit off.
You have to get to the one where they go. Remember the whole, Los? You might have heard of Los.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had brought up a thing about pancakes, waffles, or French toast.
That is what I'm talking about. That is where I was fucking offended. That is the bullshit that I signed up for their Discord just to say, y'all motherfuckers is hating on pancakes real hard right now, and I need y'all to stop this shit. Like, for real. Like I listened to the new shows when they came back, just with the new format. So I've been listening.
Yeah, I can definitely rank them, and maybe pancakes on a certain day won't be as high. But that hate on pancakes, I didn't get that.
I didn't get that at all. French toast is dead fucking last for me, bruh. Like, I'm sorry, I don't need no bread dipped in no fucking, and no eggs and shit. Like, nah, fuck that shit. No, he said he's a waffles, French toast, then pancakes. I'm okay with people who like waffles. If you like waffles, that's cool. But like, there is nothing better than some good old fashioned motherfucking.
See, I don't mind how anybody like arranges them, as long as they're not hate. Because there's nothing more.
They were actively hating on pancakes, bro.
They got heated.
Yes, because Delvin was like, "No, y'all motherfuckers crazy." They were all about their French toast, and I'm like, "No, fuck that shit. Fuck French toast. French toast is dead last on my list." Like, for real, I'm gonna tell y'all.
But well, before you get a little bit further, I hate it when I say, oh, here's like say I'm saying Bioshock games, or I'm just thinking something all the time. I'm like, this is the one I like the most, and this is the one I like the least. And someone's like, so you hate that game? I'm like, no, it's just because I like it least in something. I'm like, God, I hate that shit.
That's nerd community stuff. That's nerd community stuff. Like you say, I love Marvel movies, so you hate DC movies? Like it's all about like the problem with nerds and nerd culture is we spend way too much time talking about the things that we hate as opposed to bigging up the things that we love. And I made an active change to talk about stuff.
Well, a lot of things are very black and white, and I do have some theories about that. And I mean, I won't get into it here, but like it's you know what I mean.
There are some things that I really feel passionate about when it comes to this. Like I like Call of Duty. I fucking hate Battlefield. But you know what? Instead of talking about that and about my love or hate for either one of those, I just talk about how much I like Halo. I used to like Halo until 4 and 5. You know what I mean? Like, I don't spend time talking about Battlefield. I know that I dislike Battlefield with a passion. I dislike Battlefield with a passion. I hate the pseudo wannabe realism angle of Battlefield. It's like, you know, you say this game is realistic just because it has bullet drop. That makes no sense. It just has bullet drop. Nothing else about this game is realistic. Nothing at all. I can fix any vehicle at all with a fucking blowtorch.
Yeah, I'm fine with all that. I'm fine with all that until they were like, oh, this is not realistic. There's women in it. I'm like, okay, that's where you draw the line? That's where you draw it?
It's like a building just fell on someone and he came back a few seconds later. What is real about that? A building just fell on him. He's back.
Yeah. I'm also I hate that I was today years old when I found out. It's getting a little old, but I was, because I just listened to Marcus's new podcast, and he had come up with a term that I haven't heard before, which is gamers TM, which is so we can, if you want to embrace this, like you can consider calling yourself a gamer, because the ones that are like super chauvinistic and like anti-women and all this stuff are gamers trademark, like the stereotypical like thing and whatnot.
I just keep it.
But it's a thing. Like I even looked it up, and like it's on the Urban Dictionary and everything. Gamers TM is the, and I'm loving it that it's like an actual thing.
You're not getting that out of me ever. I will never, ever, ever consider myself a gamer. I'm just a guy who likes playing video games occasionally.
Yeah,
that's how it's gonna be forever and ever. I ain't going back because I can't be one of y'all anymore. I just can't. It's just not something I can do, and I'm sorry.
Well, the thing with me is like, it's almost like I was never one of them, because I didn't really grow up. I didn't have the I didn't have a PS1 to where I was like played all this Final Fantasies and it's like I'm like I can nerd out about a lot of stuff, but when I'm around the nerds, I'm like I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, because I'm like, you guys are too into this shit.
Right. Yeah, I mean I've had them. Like I said, until the Xbox, I pretty much played mostly like sports games, so I don't really consider myself one of them either. But like when I got an Xbox, I pretty much played everything, and then I started having issues with Sony because I realized, I got an Xbox and then I never played my PS2, so I sold it. But
yeah, they should make a Battlefield game that's a roguelike.
I have never had a Sony product that has not broken. I've never had a Sony product of any kind that has not broken. Every single Sony product of every type that I've had has broken at some point.
Your PS4?
And that's kind of my PS4 has not, because I never use my PS4. So like it can't break if I don't use it. But like if
so
I
she's like, it's not my. That's your PS4 is your Chevy Equinox. It's like you're not your main commuter. You know,
right? But I never use my PlayStation. Like the last couple times that my PlayStation has actually been used is because my daughter used it, not me. Or like I used it when I first got here because I game share on my Xbox before I got my internet. I used the PlayStation so that I could just play stuff. Oh, my PS3 is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Super dead. I still got my DualShocks. But yeah, my PlayStation 3 is gone. I don't even know what the fuck's wrong with it. That shit just will not turn on. You press that button and that shit just goes red.
It's funny. Like, I was actually looking for a DualShock because I'm playing, because I do go back to playing like PS2 games like with emulation, and I'm kind of, it works well with the Xbox controller, but sometimes I'm like, I kind of want to play this with like a controller that kind of feels a little bit like a PS2 controller, and I heard the DualShock is the best controller for PlayStation 2 emulation because it just works, you know?
Right.
But the DualShock is miles ahead of that original PlayStation 3 controller. That thing was terrible.
Yeah, the one that looked like a
6-axis or whatnot. I think it was called.
The 6-axis. The 6-axis was fine except for it was just too light. It just didn't feel like anything.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like nothing. Like it just didn't feel like anything at all. That was probably that's a problem that I had with the 6-axis. But then again, like when I had my PS3, I used my cross battle a lot. In the early days, so I was using a wired 360 controller to play PlayStation games. Yeah, it had no heft and no rumble. That is great. It felt like it felt cheap. Yes, you would say it felt like it felt cheap, and it felt like it's like, holy shit, I'm gonna fucking break this thing.
And and on the other side of the pond, I have been, my first Xbox One was the Xbox One S. So my first actually having an Xbox One was with that controller, and then now with the Series X controller, which I've heard is called the Xbox Core controllers now. I just call it Series X controller. But I picked up a original Xbox One controller. Holy shit, is that not a good controller?
What's wrong with it?
Like, I don't know. It's like,
I don't know the difference.
It's just so. I don't know. It just feels. It feels like the Duke almost. Like it's just big and like.
Oh yeah, I love the Duke. Mad Catz Duke was one of my favorite controllers of all time.
Oh yeah, because big hands and all that, I can see that. So you actually might not like the series or the new, because they are pretty much very similar to the S controllers.
They say you can use the old ones, so it'd be alright.
Yeah, you can use the old one.
I got two of those. One of them got a fucked up bumper though that I never use. But
hey, you never be able to reload in Halo or Gears of War.
Yeah, it'd be alright. I mean, I don't think it doesn't work. I just think that something is wrong with it. Just when I bought it from somebody, it has some tape on it, so I'm like. Good. All right, so we gonna talk about some things. I don't have any games because I've just been watching stuff. I've been watching people play a new game, like a tycoon type game, and it's called Honey, I Joined the Cult. I think it's called Honey, I Joined the Cult. I've been watching people play that, and it seems
I saw that game.
It seems really cool, but it has the same kind of problem that school game had. That there's a school game, and I can't think of it. Academia. I think Academia
Yeah.
is the name of the school. The school game. It's like Prison Architect, but you're building a school instead of a prison. The two of them have the same issue for me, where the money doesn't come in fast enough. So like you spend a lot of time waiting for you to have enough money to do something. So like you're spending way more time than you feel like you need to try to, because like academia, once you have your school built, you can't really do a whole lot to even improve your school and all of that kind of stuff until the school year ends and you get more money to improve your school. Like, and it's just like this doesn't this this isn't fun because I make a school and then I gotta sit here and basically fast forward through the school year in order to actually get enough money to actually do anything that I want to do, whether I want to do some more research to make my school better or anything. It's all it's all just me waiting until after the school year. So like that shit just sucks. And this game is pretty much the same. Everything costs so much to build and like make new rooms and stuff like that. The money that you're getting from your followers and stuff like that, it's just not enough for you to really do what you feel like you need to do. I think there needs to be some sort of balancing there, to make not just to make an enjoyable game, but to make it more enjoyable for me to watch. Because outside of the people who kind of make a kind of story out of it, and kind of like talk about what's happening around there and how they plan on dealing with stuff, I cannot watch everybody play that game because you got to be able to keep my interest while we're waiting for you to get enough money to do something. So, um, So I haven't really played anything. I intended to play something this weekend, and then it just really um it just never really got around to it. DualShock 4 is great. The only reason why I'll say that the DualShock 4 is great is because they moved the fucking thumbsticks further apart from each other. DualShock 3, I have big hands. So like I'm playing a first person shooter and there are times where my thumbs touch. I don't like that. That is just a weird fucking feeling and I don't like it. Like I don't want to be playing a fucking video game and if both sticks come in.
But that's the thing is like when me wanting a DS3 wasn't for first person. It's for games like Silent Hill, like PS2 games, So I wouldn't really have that issue.
Yeah, I have that. That's a personal thing with me. And that's very personal with me and the DualShocks. Like my thumbs touching is no, absolutely not. Like I can't do that. I didn't use my PS3. I use my PS3 more as a media machine than I did just as much as I did as a playing games machine. Because like I would get a game. I would get something for it. I did a lot of GameFly in the PS3 days. Get something on GameFly, play it, send it back, and then wait for something else to come in. He said, "Scar, you're not a Civ guy." I am a champion of Civ Rev. I do have Civ. I have Civ. Actually, I have Civ
6, right?
I have Civ 6. I have 6. You gave me 6, right?
One of the two. It was either 5 or 6. It was a couple of years ago.
You gave me that, and I even bought another copy of Civ for my Switch. Well, first of all, I don't really use my Switch, and I don't know why I keep buying shit for the Switch. I loved Civ Rev. Civ Rev was perfect for me.
Is that short for Revolution?
Was it Civilization Revolution? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Civ Rev was the console game, and it was like Civ dumbed down enough for a console. And I played a shit ton of Civ Rev, and I loved it. They made a new Civ Rev, but it is only on mobile. I need them to make another Civ Rev for consoles. They just put regular ass Civ on consoles now.
Yeah, because I was about to ask you if you like those like simulator games like CMS and stuff like
CMS?
Car Mechanic Simulator, or
No,
they just
no.
have a new one called Gas Station Simulator, where you have to you get this like old gas station in the middle of the desert, and you can like build it up and like maintain it and whatnot.
Yeah, that's kind of like I kind of go when it comes to stuff like that. I kind of more go for the more of the tycoon type vibe.
Mm-hmm.
There was this game. What was it called? Like a PC simulator where you ran like a PC shop and you like put like you put like computers together and stuff like that, and you sold them and all that kind of shit. It just seemed like way more tedious than me owning the store and just buying the stuff to put in the store and trying to adjust my inventory and all of that kind of stuff. I'd rather just buy the stuff and adjust my inventory than for me to
But I
actually
think that game was
fix and create the computers. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that building the computers was the part that is the main part of the game, because to teach people how to build computers.
Yeah, I mean that's not the part where I personally enjoy. Um, you know, I want someone play a shit ton of Motorsport Manager, and I know nothing about cars. But it's that game as like managing a race team, that seemed like a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you can change out your parts and stuff like that, and you can do stuff, but like, you don't actually have to like manually, do the things. You know what I mean? That I think that's the difference for me. And yeah, it's just he says his PS3 exists as a streaming box. Yeah, I really need to remember how I used to do my Xboxes as streaming boxes. I used to have all my Xboxes on my network hooked up to whereas like if I had videos and stuff on my PC was on, I can just play the videos and stuff like that from my PC through my Xboxes. That's why I had so many of them. And I had one in each room. I think I've had at
You
my
were
max.
basically making a Plex server before Plex servers.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, absolutely. So I had four of them at one point. 360s.
But yeah, my games are like basically the same rotation that I have been. Like I had remember before when we were with Cam, I had played a bunch of Destiny. That was pretty much the last time I played Destiny for an entire week. I just like but like I think it's because of this season's just so long. I'm like, I just play it every now and again. But I've been playing it on Wednesdays with Cat Mike and Matt, and that's been cool. And still Red Dead 2 and Scarlet Nexus, but Red Dead 2, I'm actually in new territory that I haven't seen before. So that's even though I finished, that's a pretty good win to where I'm actually like, woo, I'm seeing shit I haven't seen before. It feels like I'm actually playing a new game now versus getting to where I was on the Xbox, And I finished Mortal Kombat 11, which is pretty cool. But it's the main story, but I'm on to the Aftermath DLC, but it's just like 5 chapters, I think, of that. But like they do really well in those Mortal Kombat things. I mean, it's basically one giant cutscene, and you fight every now and again. I mean, really, but they still do.
I started to watch the movie because right now I still have access to HBO Go. Started to watch the most recent movie.
Just like, don't think you're
Most
going.
People didn't seem to hate it. Most people didn't seem to hate it.
Yeah. The people that did, I'm like, what do you expect? I'm like, it's not like high art. It's Mortal Kombat. They're like, oh, it didn't go by the lore. I'm like, the lore of Mortal Kombat, and like, come on.
The very convoluted lore of Mortal Kombat.
I'm like, it was exactly what it needed to be. It was enjoyable. Like during the middle, it does kind of drag a little bit with Expedition. But
Expedition?
What now?
You said Expedition.
I said Expedition. Exposition. What I meant to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main character or whatnot. Just know he is supposed to be the audience, and then you'll be. Because a lot of people are like, what is his purpose? He's not even like, he's the audience, because people, the characters have to have somebody to explain what's going on. They can't just like tell Kano. Kano already knows what's fucking going on. You know. But
anything else you've been playing? Because I watched some things.
Well, that's all I've been playing. I did watch one thing, which is still Dragon Prince, and we're on season 3 now.
So. The 3rd season. I'm trying to. I can't remember what I've watched. Can't remember if I watched it all.
I guess check your Netflix and see what doesn't.
Netflix is probably my least used streaming service at this point.
We go back and forth because I'm like, man, we have a lot. Well, which one can we get rid of? But it's like, we use them all, but just not all at once. So, the moment we get rid of Netflix, we're like, man, I can really use Netflix right now. You know what I mean?
Hold on, wait. This thing started playing. I'm trying to look. Did I watch? I did watch season 3. Okay.
But yeah, get through all the things you watched, because that's all I've watched, and that's all I've been playing. So, same old shit.
Yeah, like I said, the only problem with the Dragon Prince is Sokka is still Sokka.
But I mean, Sokka's still a good character. I mean, I don't dislike him.
No. He is too much of Sokka as a new character, but he's still Sokka. And it's like, bruh, is that your only lane that you have? As an actor, you know what I mean? Like he's basically that young man is Bill Murray. He can only do one character. That's pretty much all he can do.
So
people like the character. People like the character, but it's still just the same character.
Yeah. Because no, that's why I have talked.
Bill Murray is Bill Murray as whatever character he's supposed to be.
Yeah, because I've said this before, to where there's some people that are like really good actors, but I think the best actors are the character actors, like Jim Varney playing Ernest, or what's his name playing Pee Wee Herman and whatnot, because you can't separate them from that character, even though they're not playing themselves. But then these certain actors that we like Bill Murray and dude in The Prophecy, that dances in the Fatboy Slim video, Christopher Walken, like he plays himself in every movie. We like that character, but he plays himself.
I'm about to piss black people off. Okay, black people, fucking don't bite my head off for this, but we can say the exact same thing about Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington is the same guy in pretty much everything. You can put Denzel Washington in space. He gonna be Denzel Washington as Spaceman. I mean, he is who he is. He is a phenomenal actor. He is a phenomenal actor, but like, you know, Denzel Washington is Malcolm X. No, he is Denzel Washington as Malcolm X.
But yeah, like but these character actors that play these like crazy characters, like Mr. Bean and whatnot, like look up. The only one I know for sure is Jim Varney, but like you look in their pedigree, they're all classically trained, and there's a reason for that. Like if you can't see Jim Varney without seeing Ernest P. Worrell, then you know he's doing a really fucking good job at acting.
I mean, Larry the Cable Guy.
Right.
Larry the Cable Guy, Plays that character so well, and then when you see an interview of him just talking normally, you're just like, wait a minute, because he doesn't talk like that in real life. It's fake. I'm sorry, white people, but Larry the Cable Guy is not actually Larry the Cable Guy. He's just a regular dude who puts that on for you. But he does that so well, you think that that's who he is. It basically that the whole character started as an imitation of someone. He was just making fun of someone, and it just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Like Larry the Cable Guy, he seems like a very intelligent dude when he's just talking normally. So, all right. So I watched, so I've watched more. I went back and rewatched episodes of The Nevers. I finished The Nevers. There's only 6 episodes out, and so it's easy rewatch. That's a good show. But I think someone on the show said when you get to the last episode, yes, you're watching the same show. Because episode 6 is completely different than what you have been watching for 5 other episodes. Completely different. I like it. I really wish they didn't have to get rid of Joss Whedon in order to keep this thing going, because it's a very Joss Whedon-y type of show. It just happens to take place in Victorian England. There's some steampunky stuff going on, and like it's a really, really good show. And there's it's only been 6 episodes, and this is like the first half of the season, but like the next half of the season is not coming out until like 2022, like the end of 2022, might be 2023. No one knows when we're actually getting these other episodes. Someone said that they were coming out at the end of this year, and I'm like,
I'll probably piss some nerds off, but like like steampunk is one of those things where like there's a lot of people that are really fucking into it, but
I've never been that guy.
Well, I can't, because my first introduction to steampunk as a kid or a young person is Wild Wild West, and I just can't get that taste out of my mouth when I see steampunk shit. I just think of Wild Wild West, and I'm like, it just reminds me of that terrible movie.
Yeah. Do you know who told the story? Told the story about the Wild Wild West. What's his name? The guy. Alan Bob. I can't think of his name to save my life.
You made me forget it.
But he told a story about how
Kevin Smith.
He told a story about how he was went to a company so that they can get approval for a movie that he was making, and the guy was just like, "Yo, I want," was saying that he wanted like a mechanical spider and all of this kind of shit. It was just like, that's not for my movie. Like, that's not the kind of movie I want to make. And then the next movie that this guy produces is Wild Wild West with a big fucking mechanical spider. But I completely lost what I was going to say. But anyway, I watched X-Men Dark Phoenix. Now, hear me out. I did not hate it.
Well, I've heard there's people in our podcast sphere that from when it came out has hated it, and also I've heard people that really like enjoyed it like you would enjoy a Spice Girls album. Like,
exactly, that's what it is. It is an absolute fucking train wreck. It is a train wreck of a movie. Um, no question about that. It is a fucking train wreck. But I could not look away. I watched that. I watched that movie. You know, as typical with me these days, I fell asleep and then I went back and I had to watch this. Go back about halfway through the movie, and actually finish it. But the movie is bad, but it is still kind of enjoyable. As just a this is just a movie. And it has fucking it has stuff that if it was in a better written movie, it would be a lot better. The writing is bad. The movie is not shot bad or anything like that. The writing of the story is horrible. It's not good at all. Like no part of this is good. But it was an enjoyable watch. Would I ever watch it again? Fuck no. I'd rather watch someone do like a recap or someone watch those videos that I like watching of someone watching something for the first time. I'd love to watch someone else's reaction to the movie as opposed to watching that movie ever again. And I'm like, yo, this is what X-Men movies came down to. I see why y'all needed to give y'all license up. Like, why do they need to get a license up? Disney was just like, oh, y'all won't sell us a license back? Okay, we'll just buy your whole fucking company. Just buy your whole shit.
Yeah, we're gonna get a Wolverine game now from Insomniac.
I don't care about that at all. and I hate the fact that the KOTOR remake is PlayStation only. I hate it. I think if you're gonna do a KOTOR remake, make it for everybody. Shit, make that shit for the Switch. Who the fuck cares? It's KOTOR. Like, you know what I mean? I hope it does well, but as someone who does not play his PlayStation very much, I'm probably gonna miss out on the KOTOR remake, and that makes me feel a little bit sad. And then I watched something else, and I can't think of what it was. Can't think of what it was now. I think I watched something. Oh, I started Why the Last Man on Hulu. Because I read the comic books. I have digital comics of Why the Last Man, and I've read those. And I've watched like people do recaps and stuff like that of the comic books. So far, I've only seen like the first 2 episodes. I think there's about 4 or 5 that are out right now. It's pretty faithful so far to the source material. Pretty faithful. And I found that to be like super interesting. So yeah, Why the Last Man, if they stick to the source material, this is going to be good because that was a really good comic book run. Really, really good. Do you know anything about Why the Last Man? Mm-mm. The world of Why the Last Man, some sort of virus or something breaks out and all male anything dies. All male animals, all male humans, all die. With the exception of this one guy and his pet monkey. Every other male on the planet of any kind dies.
Is the monkey a male?
Yes. Like I said, him and his monkey, they are the only 2 males alive. After all of them die. And like, so he is trying, he's not like alpha male. He's kind of like a low level magician. And like, you know what I mean? Like he's just, he's kind of simping for his girlfriend, who went to Australia and kind of broke up with him. He's still pining for her. His mom worked for the government, and she is now the president because all of the males above her died. So she is now the president of the United States because all of the males that are above her are dead. Um, and like all of this stuff, and like his sister, and like there's like so many, there's like a few different characters. Of course, all of them women, with the exception of him. There's some stuff that happens later on in the series, but at this point, it's just them and a cast of women characters. It's a pretty decent show. Wu Tang is back, so I've been watching Wu Tang. The last episode, okay, the whole last episode, and this, I'm not doing a real like spoilers, but the whole last episode takes place on a ferry ride. Ferry, like a boat ferry, not a ferry like little, Tinkerbell.
The boat with cars on it.
Yes. So the whole episode takes place on a ferry ride, and they have this way of like introducing pieces of the Wu-Tang catalog into like just things in the atmosphere. And there's a guy on the ferry playing a violin, and he is playing the sample for Reunited, bits and pieces over the course of the whole episode. And every time we cut back to this dude, he is playing that same thing from Reunited. And the moment I heard that violin lick, I started rapping. And in my head, I was rapping Reunited basically that whole fucking episode. Because every time they went back to him, the shit started again in my head. Mm-hmm. But I guess at some point, this is season 2, we're finally like getting close to an actual Wu-Tang Clan. Like, you know what I mean? The build to Wu-Tang has been incredibly slow. We went through a whole fucking season and no actual Wu-Tang songs were created. No, like, but well, kind of, but not really. Like, so, like, we haven't seen them that right
How
now.
many
It's
episodes
still,
is it for these 2 seasons?
I can check. I believe the first season was maybe 10 episodes, possibly. Yeah, I'll look this up, but it's a lot of, and
the reason I asked is because I was wondering if it's 36 episodes until you get Wu-Tang.
Probably. The way that it's going, it probably is. Like we're really close to Wu-Tang at this point. Oh wait, something happened. My little side buttons that I turned off on my remote, on my mouse are working again. They should not be working. I turned those off a long time ago.
They heard you talking about them shits. You're like, y'all turn your fuck.
First season is 10 episodes.
Okay.
First season is 10 episodes, and there have been 4 so far this season. The next one comes out on Wednesday. But I'm really enjoying it.
Quite a bit to go for 36.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying this. There's one huge exception. I hate that they have incorporated some of the characters, the rapper that they're playing. They have incorporated some of the rapper's lyrics in their speech. If you know these songs, you're just like, wait a minute. He just said that. He rapped that in this song. You know, because I used to be really deep into Wu-Tang. Uh-huh. Like that was my shit for a little bit, like me and my brother. But like, so like when you see like them having a conversation and then like you know, at one point, like in like I don't know, it was the last episode of the previous, like episode 3 of season 2, fucking Method Man and You God are in a car, right? And you've heard 36 Chambers, I don't know how many times, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're having a conversation. There's You God and Method Man, and they're in a car. And then You God starts saying, I'll fucking, yo, dog, why are you doing this? And he starts talking about some sort of torture device. And it's just like, bruh, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, you know what I mean? And they're having a conversation just between the two of them. And you know, one of them got pinched. And he's just like, yo, if I ever catch that cop that did this, I'll fucking put him in a, you know what I mean? Like this device and like the you know, the torture motherfuckers, like that shit. They do that while
So
they're
his
sitting
asshole.
in the
Did they
car.
say that whole thing about sewing the asshole shut and feeding them?
No, but you can see where that came from.
Yeah.
It's like you can clearly see that that's where that came from. Just the two of them having this conversation. And they talk about a different version of torture than they talked about during the skit, but it's still the same thing. And it's just like, stop doing that. Like I get what you're doing. You're trying to add more Wu-Tang stuff to your Wu-Tang show, but like, yo, if you're gonna add more Wu-Tang shit to your Wu-Tang show, can I please get more actual Wu-Tang actually like coming together and making Wu-Tang music?
I heard y'all like Wu-Tang, so I'm putting your Wu-Tang in your Wu-Tang.
And then like what another scene that happens, the Ghostface and RZA are having a conversation about when they were children because they've known each other basically their whole lives.
Uh-huh.
And then RZA goes, I made this beat for you. It's the All That I Got Is You beat. He was just like, well, I made this for you, but I don't know what kind of drums I need to put on this. He was like, no, that shit don't need no drums. But they had just got finished talking about when they were little kids and how things were when they were growing up. And you know that All That I Got Is You is him talking about his childhood. You know what I mean? And it's just like, come on, man. Like, I get what you're doing here, but like, come on, man. Get out of here. Like, it's so like there's those are like little pieces. I know some people like Rashani, who were not really that deep into Wu-Tang. Of course, he being West Coast. He thinks that the guy playing RZA is a bad actor because of the way that he talks. I'm like, that dude is a phenomenal actor because that is RZA. You obviously didn't see like, so I like found a conversation, like an interview of RZA, and I sent it to Rashani, and I was just like, yo, bruh. This is RZA now. Imagine this as basically a teenager, early 20s, and unsure of himself. And that is 100% what this guy is acting like. Oh, yeah. So that's real cool. So I'm really gonna, get back and finish these episodes of Why the Last Man. And I know there was something else that I watched, but it was something that I kind of fell asleep and I didn't feel like I needed to go back to. So, but yeah, that's been good. I watched the verses of Fat Joe and Ja Rule. I enjoyed the fuck out of that shit, dog. Enjoyed the fuck out of this shit, and Fat Joe got washed, bruh.
Uh-huh.
Washed. It was bad. So, I think we made it.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna watch more stuff than I am going to play more stuff. I do want to try to play something. But I also am trying to like get some time to like set up and actually like create a painting so I can record a video and stuff like that. There's things that I want to do.
Well, I mean, I guess it don't matter, but it's a little bit behind the curtain. But I have a playlist for the PTAC on the Geeks Gone Raw. But if you make one on your PTAC to where you put it in there yourself, and then I can put that in the Geeks Gone Raw page, because you can put anybody's playlist on your page if you want to. You know what I mean?
Okay.
the because that would make it easier because I sometimes it'll be like months and I'm like, oh, he's made a video and it hasn't been on the Geeks on Raw page.
Yeah, I stopped. I forgot to. At first I was linking everything into the arts and crafts thing on the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of forgot and I kind of stopped doing that.
And I set it up to where I get notifications when you upload just for that reason. But sometimes I'll get a notification and I'm like doing something and then I'll still forget about it because, well, you know.
So I need to get better about this. And now since like people are placing orders again, and I need to start putting up some of the actual paintings on the website so I can sell some of those too. It's just going to be a long kind of process of me getting the stuff out of storage, getting good pictures of it and putting them up and making new stuff and putting those up. There's something that I've wanted to do since I moved that I have not been able to do. And I spoke about it. I spoke about something that I really kind of wanted to do, as far as like making, doing like a paint thing with someone, with Wire Junkie. And Wire Junkie, we had talked about doing a thing where I've seen some other painters do this where every week they do a painting and it's just black, white, and another color. And they both create something in their own styles with just those black, white, and another color. Just to kind of stretch their creativity and stuff like that. And I kind of want to do that.
Yeah, that's cool. Like I've always said, like limit yourself to boost your creativity because, yeah, anybody can be creative if you have like thousands of stuff at your disposable. You know what I mean? So if you really want to push your creativity,
at your disposable or just disposal?
It's late, man. Come on.
That's a show title. At your disposable. I'm doing that right now.
Well, check this out. Look at it.
Oh, you got one of those?
Yeah. I
don't even use a key. My key stays in my pocket when I'm in my car.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. I don't have like the push start, but I have the thing where you would put a key in. It just turns as long as my key is in my pocket when I get in the car. I just turn it and it turns on right on.
Nice.
Kind of like the half step between the old and the push starts.
Right.
But yeah, man, like thank y'all for checking your boys out. I hope you guys really enjoyed August the way that we did. We enjoyed every single one of those shows. And I think we'll be back in another 2 weeks or so. Chase, when you said you'll be putting out your first episode of your show soon.
Yeah, it's going to go live tomorrow at 7 a.m. It's going to be Tuesdays at 7 a.m. is the
okay.
Because I'm record them and then schedule it so that way I'm always on the same thing.
I had thought about doing something separate, but it just be me talking. I have considered this several times, and I was gonna do it, and I'm just kind of like every single time I want to do it, I'm just kind of like, eh.
So I knew I wanted to, because I had an Anchor account for forever, and then I was like, I kind of wanted, but I wanted to do something. I definitely didn't want it to be like just like this, because it would be like, right. Well, I made me a new podcast, but this time I'm the host. See, look at me.
Right.
You know.
Well, remember, you were supposed to take over this shit in the first place.
Yeah. But
because I wanted to leave. And then the first August made me realize, hey, I can keep doing this. This is actually fun.
Yeah. Yeah, but so Crucial Core is a little bit more focused on certain topics. And I have it's just me basically, but I just have a guest that is pertaining to that certain topic.
Word up. All right, so I think we got it. Thank y'all again. Go to to the episode descriptions, show notes, whatever you want to call them, to find all of the information about the shows that we talked about. I need to remember to post these links to these fanny packs and stuff onto the Discord. Go to the Discord because that's usually where you can reach us and have conversations with us.
And in the past couple of months, it's actually been fairly active.
Yeah, has been. So that's been real cool. So it's good to have a place where you can have a conversation with your boys. And yeah, so again, thank y'all. We appreciate you all. I know that I was really thinking the other day. I was really thinking about like I didn't really say anything during August about about Jay Bird's birthday, and then it started making me think about all of the people that we've lost. You know, I went down that rabbit hole and started thinking about like Big Boy and Jay Bird and my man Kojak and like some of these other people that I've done podcasts with or been podcasts.
Remember when I was like talking to when I was talking about when I was playing Forza Horizon and I was going head to head with Timo for a little bit. This was like last weekend.
Yeah. So like Timo, like all of the people, I started thinking about everybody that we lost and I felt a little bit sad. That happened about a couple weeks ago. So and I didn't mention it. I was just kind of in my feelings and I was just kind of like I don't really want to say it because I don't really want to get choked up on August, but his birthday is at the end of August. But I want nobody to think that I ever forgot about my people. You know, forgot about the people that were a part of this show and made this show what it was. You know, I still follow Big Boy's mom on Facebook and stuff like that, and so like shit's just, you know, sometimes it makes me think, and I just don't want nobody to think that we forgot about nobody. We still say peace out to the Warriors. At the end of every show, and that was not just for Mason. That was for everyone that we've lost, and the people that soldier on after the people that we've lost. So with that said, we'll be back in your ear holes again in a couple weeks. So to the Warriors, yo.
Later.